like to call the meeting to order. First of order of business is to review and approve the minutes of our meeting of December the 16th. What is your pleasure?
I move the minutes be approved as circulated.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. You got the residents and citizen participation.
You want me to ask any?
Oh, no, if you have anything on your mind, this is your time to bring it up.
Is it definite that the windows and the sliding doors can start this year?
No,
No.
it is not. We put in fact, I brought the information with me, knowing that you would ask, or someone would ask. The total price to do all the windows, doors, and the new airlock was $634,544. And if we take 2 years of our capital fund plus some reserves, we're hoping to be able to do the doors this year.
The sliding doors?
Yes.
Okay.
That would include the airlocks?
No. we
That's
can't.
apartment doors?
That's the
Oh,
apartment,
okay, yeah,
replace
yeah, the
the
balcony
sliding
doors,
doors, yeah. And that's all that we can do, and that takes 2 years of capital funding. And the bulk of capital funding,
So are you,
2/3 of it.
so are you saying you probably won't start 2 years from now?
No, we will do the doors
As you're going along
this year.
this year? Okay.
And I've asked Jack to contact Jack Mahoney, our redevelopment, person who does this project for us, to contact the architect and to get bidding done so that we can have a contractor here this summer.
We will pay for it however we have to pay for
Yes.
it, and it will eventually come out of the funds you just described.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
We've been saving some grant money in anticipation of the project costing a lot, but it costs a huge lot more than we thought. So replacing the sliders, we were told was resident priority number 1, so that's what we're going to do first. And then we may actually have to wait a couple of years to come back and do the windows because of the cost. And because we get a little money.
The science of the possible.
So, yeah.
And that means that there won't be other capital projects, other areas.
Nothing
It
else.
will be just this.
Is this going to start this year?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
The plan is for Jack to get the architect and put a fire under him and get it out to bid so that we can actually do the work, which Jack thinks will take 4 months, do the work this summer and fall.
We have a problem in this building. You know the small camera you got in the laundry room? Can we get one pushed in the ladies' room? Somebody's going in there and breaking the lock, not breaking it, but going through the lock of toilet paper and stealing our toilet papers out of the bathrooms. And it's been going on for a couple months, and I've been trying to catch them at it, and I can't. So if you could just put a camera in there that doesn't go over the privacy of going to the bathroom, but at least we'll be able to see who's coming and going.
Where is this bathroom?
Right out there in the second floor lobby here. Second floor,
That one.
that one. I know it's
It's very expensive to put a camera in.
even that one like you have in the laundry room.
Yeah, because they're internally hooked to a system that runs
Already?
into the office here, and it
Oh.
seems like it should be simple, but it's not. But I have one thought that might be less expensive, but it can be pretty expensive to put up a camera.
Whatever you can
It's not
do,
just,
It might be cheaper to give away off the toilet paper.
just to stop somebody from
Or
doing
store
that.
it.
Sets list.
is it just, if there's even a roll there, it gets taken?
The top roll gets taken, they can't get to the bottom. But when the bottom is done, then we gotta wait a week until Friday comes.
No, you should call us.
Okay.
You should call us.
All right.
And what, so,
On a related issue, I have to announce that my cat yesterday just found out what toilet paper is for.
how did they,
It has like a,
it has a key, are they able to unlock?
yeah, they used apparently something like a nail file and push it down and turn it
Yeah,
and stuff. And it's a U key.
yeah,
It's like U square key.
There's a way. They'll figure it out.
And the same person must have used the file to put the heat up in there to 80. So I put the heat down to 70, less than 70. So it was so hot in there, it wasn't funny. We got the tape at the moment over the lock, just to tape. Somebody scratched on stop stealing, but then somebody took the tape off and I put it back on. So
okay, well,
we have an issue.
yeah, that's an issue. We'll get George and Todd on it.
But certainly don't wait a week for it.
Oh, yeah, there's,
And
yeah, that's,
Okay.
Excuse me, can I have people speak up because I've got a lot of noise coming out.
Oh, because of the AC
Yeah.
or the heating.
Yeah, a lot of,
Yeah.
thank you.
But, okay, issues about people coming in here that don't belong in here. Alcoholics, drugs, people that apparently abuse the service here of having people stay over and not notifying anybody.
How did they get in? Don't you have a?
They give them the key. They give them the key.
So
And
it's
they get in
residents allowing friends or
Right.
other people to come in.
to come in.
I think George is aware of most of this, and if he isn't, then let him know, and he is taking lease enforcement action where we can, and he's,
Well, we had one in the hospital where but her daughter had the key and she was going in and out of her apartment a lot. And I don't know if it was with her permission, but I don't know that should be allowed. While she was in the hospital.
well, if a relative or even a friend has a key and they were given the key by the occupant, there's nothing the housing authority can do about it.
Okay.
Because that occupant, the rentor gave the key, and
Okay.
it's their key to give.
I would like to be a guard monitor. If you could.
Yeah.
I know what goes on here a lot. I see it on different hours of the day. People coming in and out all hours of the night.
Just talk with your friendly property manager. That's why he's here.
He's very nice. I like him. I love the way he's running the things here.
Good.
I do.
That's good.
It is good to hear. Anything else?
I think that's
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. property manager for review and adopt a non-smoking policy with respect to the e-cigarettes. And thank you very much, Tom, by the way, for the information that you sent out. As a matter of fact, I don't have it with me tonight because I took it down to my office and I was reading it at home. No, but if you have anything that you want to add.
Well, yeah, I'd like to summarize my feelings on it anyhow. We instituted the non-smoking policy, as far as I'm concerned, for three particular reasons. One is the secondhand smoke and the effects that that might have on other tenants. Second is the fire hazard, which in the last couple of years has been demonstrated on a couple of occasions. And the third is the effect on the apartment when somebody moves out that's been a smoker. It costs the housing authority money to rehab the apartment so a non-smoker can live there. And I personally feel that e-cigarettes addresses each of these problems, or it is not a problem for each of these instances. There's no smoke, none. There's no fire. And because there's no smoke and no fire, there's not going to be any damage to apartments. There is a vapor. It's very similar to the vapor that you exhale on a cold day. It dissipates quickly. I asked a person that I know smokes them to demonstrate. And standing a reasonable distance, I could not detect in any way, other than seeing a little puff coming out of her mouth, that there was anything going on. I asked if I could get closer, she could blow it in my face. And I could smell a little bit of something, but it wasn't anything that I was really concerned about, and that's an extreme example. So I guess I feel that maybe our best solution would be to adopt a kind of a don't ask, don't tell policy on e-cigarettes. And the reason I feel this is human nature being what it is. There are some people that will continue, at least on occasion, to smoke real cigarettes in their apartment. It's most likely to happen in the evening. They wake up in the middle of the night, they have a need for nicotine, they're going to light up and they can go back to sleep. And therefore, scared, that causes the threat of fire. I would say that I've been in 4 fires in my life, all of which were caused by cigarettes. And it was always basically the same situation. Someone was smoking in bed and fell asleep. Now, I know that Vermont has a law now that cigarettes sold in the state of Vermont have to be what they call self-extinguishing. They're not going to sit there and smolder. And I found this out from the fire department next door. But he says it isn't working in Brattleboro because if you smoke in Brattleboro, you go across the street to New Hampshire. The cigarettes are cheaper, there's no tax or a lower tax, and they don't have this requirement that the cigarettes be self-extinguishing. It hadn't even occurred to me that this was a situation. So I feel that I'd like to see a safety valve. If someone's having a nighttime nicotine fit, we allow them to ease it with an e-cigarette. Now you might say, well, why don't they take chewing gum or chewing tobacco or something like that? And the answer is that it doesn't work. It takes 7 seconds for an e-cigarette or a regular cigarette to make itself felt in the appropriate sections of the brain. And I've read this. It takes 20 minutes if you ingest it orally. So if you're having a fit, a Jones, a chew isn't going to help you. So that's why I think we should just adopt this no ask, no, don't tell. And if it becomes a problem, we revisit it.
Yeah, question on that?
Sure, yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
You're taking effect May 1st, right?
That's what it says.
Okay. If a tenant knows somebody else is smoking, do you have a policy of 3 times you strike, you're out notice? Or what do you do about that?
Well, we need to investigate. We need to confirm that, in fact, the tenant was smoking. If, let's assume it's a real cigarette, that they were smoking a real cigarette, and then that in and of itself is not enough in Vermont for grounds for eviction. So we would have to take, and if it's repeated and seems to be unstopped by the resident, then we probably would have a case. But we'd have to go through that process sometimes.
You just have to see if they were repeaters.
Well, I know we discussed not having or having a smoking police and decided that was inappropriate. I don't know that there's anything we can do
Oh,
about.
we can't be the smoking police.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think there's anything we can do about smoking vigilantes.
well, we know where Gary lives, before his apartment. We go by it, and we're smelling the smoke badly before I get to his apartment. And we hope that this continues as of May 1st. But what if we keep smelling that smoke?
Then you tell us. And then we go in and do our investigation and
You know, I've
take it from there.
walked through the hallways, even happened today, and I smelled smoking. Now, I've never seen anybody smoking in the public areas here. So if I smell smoke in a hallway, it was somebody walked out of their apartment and brought the smell out
Yep.
on their clothing. So it's not going to be an easy thing to conceal.
Yep, I
Even
know.
if you're smoking it in your bathroom, you're going to walk out of that apartment,
Yep.
and it's going to be noticeable.
Yes, it is, and that they're not supposed to smoke in their apartment.
Correct.
Got it.
Well, it's a problem,
Yep.
and it's probably going to continue to be a problem until policy is set. Do you have anything to add on that?
I just wanted to thank Tom for all of this. I did bring the policy with me because it does mention e-cigarettes, so we would have to strike that from the policy. And the only thing that I did want to add is that from the housing authority's perspective, because we're so involved with SASH and a grant called the Community Transformation Grant, which is about hypertension and smoking and all of these chronic conditions which all come together. You said in one of your notes, health, you said, from what I see, any effects regular cigarettes have on health are equally applicable to e-cigarettes, but that's not our concern. It is our concern as a entity with SASH and that is really trying to affect residents' health in terms of helping them have better health outcomes and have healthier lives. But that, that's just for information for you. That
Yeah.
It is.
I can see
So-
that particular connection there.
Yeah, and we're very involved in this community transformation grant because of the hypertension and blood pressure issues.
But we are still going to let them smoke.
Very connected with cigarette smoking
Mm.
in many cases. So, we see this as a work in progress.
Mhm.
One step at a time. So if you vote, I thought that was an interesting suggestion and certainly one that is finds a middle ground in terms of just banning them outright or allowing them, and we can just take from there and see.
Well, it's
see
something
if
we
it
can always
works.
revisit.
Yeah, but we would need to amend this policy.
Correct.
And I do have copies to you. There's-
Would that be something we'd have to do in a separate meeting, or could that be?
I think you could do that tonight because this topic has been on your agenda
Several years.
consistently
Yeah, for a long
since you
time.
adopted this policy, very specifically with respect to the e-cigarettes. And I think that there's been more than adequate notice that this was something that you were thinking about and sort of re-looking at.
I think we should leave any other drug or plant in there.
And just put a period?
Just put a period, yeah.
So what you're basically suggesting is that the second paragraph read, for the purposes of this policy, smoking means inhaling, exhaling, burning, or carrying any lighted cigar, cigarette, pipe, or other lighted smoking device for burning tobacco or any other drug or plant, period.
Yeah,
Excluding the last two words, including e-cigarettes.
Correct.
So we're not specifically mentioning them or not mentioning them. We can explore what it means to allow them.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what are you suggesting, that we eliminate this copy, including e-cigarettes?
Yes.
correct.
Exclude it, get it out of the policy.
Would you like to?
Well, yeah, I'll make a motion that we amend the proposed Brattleboro Housing Authority smoke-free policy to the extent that in the second paragraph, we eliminate the last three words, which are including e-cigarettes.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Okay.
We will.
We will give it, we'll make that, we're
not
starting
allowing
to.
them, we're not allowing them, we're simply neutral on them.
Well, people, I'll be honest, people are going to ask the property man,
Oh, absolutely.
you know, and
Right.
George is gonna, you know, we'll talk about it tomorrow at our staff meeting, but we're gonna have to have an answer.
Don't ask, don't tell.
You know, well, I think the answer is going to be they're not explicitly prohibited or permitted.
Right, right.
End of story.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And if they become a problem, we will be aware of that,
Right,
and we'll revisit it.
yeah.
And I do want to second your concerns about the health concerns, because that, just within the last week, they have defined many more serious conditions that are connected with smoking. Part of the healthy communities and SASH should be to try to reduce all of those.
We are.
I know.
Yeah.
I just
Do we want to make
reaffirming
it some
that.
kind of a resolution affirming that?
I don't think you need to.
Okay.
Read at the moment.
You're, you are strong supporters of SASH, and we applied for the Community Transformation Grant, and you supported that. So I think you've gone on record as being supportive of SASH and our involvement in that. So I think it's apparent. I think this is, you know, we're just trying to move these properties into a different place, and frankly, when we get to the family housing, we may make a whole different recommendation,
Oh, absolutely.
and there we may actually talk more about the health effects because of secondhand smoke, and we may be really at a point where we say even e-cigarettes, because the cigarette companies are trying to make them very, very attractive to young people. So there may be other reasons that we present you in terms of family housing to say,
Well, yeah.
we don't want to see
I would
them there
imagine
from a health standpoint.
Smoking these things in a car isn't going to be a good idea. You know, you're so close to everybody.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, you did
It is
a lot of work and
yeah.
study.
But, you know, I think it's inevitable. You can see the writing on the wall. The hospital is closed, you know, that is a taboo.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you're going to find different companies, different organizations across the area right here are going to be enforcing these things.
Well, the overall, how would you say it, acceptability of smoking has declined tremendously in the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't be surprised in another 10 years it will be considered bad taste to smoke in public. And it's just, you know,
Yeah.
I can see it happening.
Yeah?
But for the moment, it is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to just stay on top of the thing and
As far as marketing to children, I mean, that's what they're doing, that's what big business does, but I think that the states will be catching up on all of this, taxing them, and
yeah.
Vermont has already prohibited sales to children. It's one of the few states that so far has. So they've gone that far, but they're going to start taxing them, they're going to prevent them from advertising.
Yes.
All the restrictions that apply to regular cigarettes will be applied to these, I think, it's
I
inevitable.
think so. And I think that there will be more study done of just exactly what chemicals are coming out. I mean, it's
Oh,
still
yeah.
relatively,
Oh,
it's still
yeah.
a new technology, if you will.
And I guess if there's one bright side is, this isn't how would you say it? This isn't really a product of the American tobacco industry.
Oh, that's
They not only didn't invent these, but for years they were buying up patents to keep these devices off the market. But the Chinese did an end run around them.
Yeah.
And so now they're getting in on a bandwagon, but they're not really strongly pushing them. So I think that regulation, I think, is going to happen automatically.
Program managers.
all right.
The FSS, PH, and HCV, resident service coordinators, SASH coordinators. Brattleboro Housing Authority has received grant renewal funding for both the family self-sufficiency programs in public housing in Section 8. Congratulations to our staff
Yes, thank
and
you.
Yes.
for such excellent work.
I'm in both programs, SS program and the SASH. But fast, I want to ask a question. SASH is going to be doing my living will. She says it no longer has to be notarized. Is that true?
I don't know.
I believe it needs 2 witnesses, but not a notarization. In the past, it was New Hampshire that required it to be notarized, Vermont didn't.
Vermont didn't? Okay.
But the witnesses cannot be people who are going to inherit from you or provide direct health care for you. So friends or people who know you and just are aware, sign in front of them.
But they can't benefit.
They can't benefit.
Makes
from
sense.
that.
Okay. So it could be a family member that's not going to benefit at all?
That's right.
Okay.
And you might look at doing a durable power of attorney for health care as well as a living will, because that gives you somebody else who can speak for you in a kind of ambiguous situation.
And the person who has no profit that signs that living will can also have the power of attorney?
Yes.
Okay.
You will have an attorney when you do all of this stuff, right?
You don't
No.
need an attorney.
Oh, you don't
No.
have that at all?
I was doing it going to do with SASH.
Oh, okay.
She says I
I
can
see,
do it with
I
SASH.
see, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I didn't know if you had an attorney that you were working
The
with.
SASH
as well.
coordinator is a great person
Sure.
to do.
Sure. Very good. Do you have anything on those?
No,
three
they
areas?
have their reports. All, it's going well. We're very, very happy that we got refunded.
I
Yes.
love Lucy Tell and
Yeah.
Sandra.
Love both.
Great.
They're, so, as well, and I love their focus on show me the money, so. And SASH is doing very, very well. And of course, Chelsea is now ramping up her activity, so,
Good.
yeah.
And we had some updates here too on some of our properties that
Oh, yeah.
go on sheet here for anybody if you have any questions on those. That was kind of nice to see all of that. What's happening? Nothing? Move on then. We have a rent collection performance report, white sheet. questions on that or any comments? The HCV administrator, Housing Choice Voucher Program, Shelter Plus Care, transition to housing. Brattleboro Housing through VHA has received renewal of its Shelter Plus Care Grant, which is really good news. And it was scored as a 1, the highest number. And by the state group reviewing and decided on the many applications received. Another, again, excellent work. Staff has been doing some real good work.
It's both of, all three of these are really labor intensive, and they're very detailed, and they have a lot of data.
Yeah.
And David and his folks have done a great job. And, I think we were number one out of all of the shelters here in the state.
How many is that?
There were about 17 or 18 applications.
It speaks very highly of
Did
us.
not be funded. Yeah, but ours was.
How well is the coordination?
Sorry, can I ask you?
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, ours was scored number one, and I think there was only one number one. I mean, I think
I wanted to ask about how well the coordination with the other agencies who are doing case management is going for Shelter Plus Care.
it's going better. We had a good meeting with the two principal agencies that have participants, and they, with David, our staff person, are working on implementing changes to their reporting and improving some parts of how they interact with the software that everybody reports into.
Because we're not the only case manager for that program, the Shelter Plus Care, so we really depend on the success of their case managers working with the clients.
Yes, we don't do the case management. We are the grant administrator and the housing administrator, and we depend on other service agencies to do the case management, which is not funded. They don't get any money to do Shelter Plus Care. So that makes it difficult.
It does make it difficult.
Do we have anything more to report as far as David?
No,
Billy
no,
goes?
that's, he's got it all in there.
Yeah, he does. Very good. Let's see here. The property redevelopment manager, hazard mitigation, project still wrapping up.
Yes. The Melrose renovations, a slight bit of work that we did. We're still working with the state to get the numbers squared up.
It's not a bad issue yet.
No.
We're working with them, not against them.
Oh, we're working with it.
And the status of the Brook capacity study?
We have the study. We've met with Stevens. We are waiting to get a proposal from Stevens for the planning piece.
Good. Red Clover Commons. What's the update on that?
The update is that I hope this week to be putting a memo out to the Melrose residents that we will be having a meeting with them the first week of February to show them the drawings and sketches that will be submitted to the town to begin the approval process.
That's pretty much on schedule. Is that working?
It's pushed back or pushed out a couple of months. We had hoped to be doing this in January. But the most important money that we have is now, we have to have it spent by, I believe it's December, so everything got pushed out. So we're a little pushed out, but I think we'll make up some time. We're moving along.
As long as we're talking about Red Clover, I'd like to mention that we do a very preliminary investigation as to whether it would make any sense at all to put some solar on that building.
We have, in the plans, is a pellet-fired boiler
Correct.
and solar panels.
There will be some.
Photovoltaic.
Photovoltaic. Just to put it in perspective,
Is already
there's
in the
no
plans.
way we would be able to generate enough power for our needs. But what we might be able to do is generate enough solar to take care of, say, the lighting in the common areas. Something like that. You know, and it's facing west. The building's north-south. There's a west-facing roof. And in this particular climate, west seems to be the best because you generate the most power during the time of day when there's most demand for it. So it's something we should look at, and we
They're
said
in.
they're doing it. That's
They're
good.
in there.
Then they will see if it makes sense.
No, they're gonna be in there.
No, that's
They've already decided.
well, they've already made their.
Oh, yeah.
They've done the feasibility.
Yeah,
study.
they're
Okay.
gonna be in there, yeah.
Well, that's good.
And I'm pretty sure they're not gonna go in.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah. And a pellet.
Yeah. So we could get a green flag for that.
Oh, it's gonna be very green. It's gonna be very green.
Work session, new, old, new, and other business. Financial review showing the check listings. You can see all of the accounts payable that we had here. Pretty much speak for themselves. If anybody has any questions, feel free to chime in. Otherwise, it's pretty self-explanatory. Check signing, we noticed that Janet had January,
December and January.
that's right, we had two in a row, that's right. February, Marshall, and March, Tom, you're on there.
It is in my PDF.
Good
That
boy.
rules.
Good boy. And speaking, because we're doing those right now, April is not right here, but I will do April.
Okay, great, thank you. Put that in there. All right, super.
Confirm February the 10th. I noticed on my computer, you guys were all talking about this February 10th. And it was all three of you guys were speaking about this. I said, geez,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get on here. I didn't write into to Chris to tell you I was looking at that. And I said, no, I'll get updated tonight. We're at this meeting. February the 10th was our meeting
Yeah.
that they had on it.
It really does make much difference to me.
It doesn't seem to matter to anybody, it's President's Day.
Yeah.
So that was the question that came up, and it's early in the month.
Yeah.
But I'm out of the office on the very last day, and there was some conflict. It may have been with I'm trying to hold the dates of the Planning Commission and the Development Review Board, and those are Monday and Tuesdays, and that may have been it, the week before the last week is a possible planning date if the plans go in on time. So that's what I got.
Let's
Push
push
the-
it.
I'm sorry, which
Anything.
meeting are we talking about?
The one for February is scheduled.
Regular.
Yeah, the regular meeting is scheduled for February 10th. And it,
Is that a change?
No,
Instead of the
no.
17th.
Instead of what?
No, it was always the 10th.
It's
It was
always
always
been the
the
10th, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
saw.
I
Yeah.
thought I had.
That's what
And it
faked
down
me out is
for
because
review.
you
Yeah,
guys
the
were all
normal
talking.
rotation, it would be the
It'd be
17th.
later, yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
But
later.
I caught it when I saw it on the 10th, I said, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
Ah,
But it presents no problem for
Okay.
No.
me, so,
No.
No, I just thought I'd check in.
Yeah.
It is a holiday, just like today.
just like today.
Yeah.
Oh shucks, I'm not gonna get paid.
Okay, well, everybody seemed to say it was okay. And the term life insurance I've got.
I think we've already talked about that, so that seems to be all set. Does anybody have any other business come before the meeting? If you don't, then I would like to move into executive session
We
to
go into
discuss.
executive session.
second.
Motion's been made and seconded to move into executive session. Any discussion?
Be gone.
Hearing
Do I
hearing
have to
none?
leave?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay.
All in favor, say aye.
I have to leave.
Opposed?
Thank
Motion
you for
carries.
being here.
Thanks.
It really
Thank you
was a
very
See
much.
you, Liz.
Good to see you
Just scooted through this, but
Yeah,
it worked
right.
out pretty well.